So when I say this is a real high calling, being a pastor in this kind of ministry, because you identify the gaps, not just in the community, in the system. It's like if I had a chance and an opportunity to sit around the table and tell some real life stories of how the system is really failing this set of people, then I'm sure I could make a difference, but we don't get invited. And I wonder why that is. I wonder why you're not inviting me around the table to speak truth to power, because something needs to change.
So I think we're in about week 7 or week 8, so I'm losing count now, so I'm sure that's a good thing. So Church on Wheels, and I've been away for a week, and I've been in Holland and I've been in London doing some meetings and things, and the church has been left in the capable hands of Pastor Emma, who, believe it or not, has just bobbed in to see me. There's like so many different problems in the world, in life, and our ministry is really, really difficult. It's really tough work. It's really hard. You know, people don't often like to support it because, you know, you've got people who are homeless and addicted, as well as, you know, the normal things. Well, they're not so normal, are they? But child poverty and things that we see and we deal with every day, and they're off the scale, the things that we see. So it's not a type of ministry for the faint-hearted, and it's not well supported. So we have to battle for it. We have to battle for every penny. We have to battle for every individual person. You know, we have to battle against councils, against governments, you know, against drugs treatment services. And we have to speak justice, but we speak justice with mercy. And so I'm just going to introduce you to my pal, Pastor Emma, who runs the whole of Church on the Street with me. And we'll see what she's been up to. So tell me, Emma, so Church on the Street is pretty unique in the work that it does.
Yeah.
And the people who it helps. So it's a big cross-section of people. But just tell us, well, she sat in this cosy camper van of mine. Tell us some of the problems, some of the battles, some of the stories, some of the things, so that the viewers who are listening kind of get a better understanding. And tell us a bit about who you are first, maybe.
Yeah. So I think that the reason I'm so at home at Church on the Street is because I have been one of them people that are on the margins, that feel like the outcasts, that don't fit in. And I was one of the worst as well. And I think for me to be the kind of woman that supports the kind of women that was like I was something that was missing for me. When I got in recovery, it was fine. But when you're in the madness and in the thick of it, and you're the nuisance to society, and you're labelled a troublemaker. So
what you mean, Pastor Emma, is so you were a drug addict then?
Yeah, injecting drug addict, alcoholic, of a hopeless variety. Yeah, I've spent time in prison, been homeless, been in domestic violence relationships, had, you know, a couple of kids in the madness as well, thinking that they would sort me out. And been in and out of detoxes and treatment centres for 25 years.
So then you
35 years, actually.
35 years. You're making yourself
younger.
Yeah. So then you would know how a lot of these people, not just women, but you'll know how a lot of these people feel.
Absolutely.
It's the struggle and the battles.
Yeah, absolutely.
So tell us the problems that we face.
So I absolutely believe that this is a high calling, what we do on a daily basis, because your heart breaks. There's no money. It's the truth. We don't get any money to support the people. We've got a church to run. So the basics like gas and electric, hot water for people who need a shower, food for people who are hungry, clothes for people that haven't got any. The basics of ministry, of humanity, we've got to find.
Battle.
and battle. And it breaks my heart. When you've got systems set up and there's surplus money going around that system. I know there is, because I worked in an organisation for a decade that, you know, we managed to get money in and create jobs for lived experience.
Why do you think it's so difficult to get money for?
I don't get invited around the tables where the money's being dispensed. The decision makers who have the money don't invite me around the table to have a voice to say, this is what we do with those on the margins of society, because these people exist. They're hidden, you know, they are not a hidden population. They're very real.
So why do you think then, so in my work and your work and the work of the other pastors, we get remarkable results? So why do you think that you can't get around the table to access any of that money?
I've started to wonder if it is because I have a collar on. I've started to wonder if it's persecution.
Of faith?
Of faith. Because I used to be around the tables.
Interesting.
And now I'm not. But yeah, the tireless work, the hours, I work way harder and way more than I ever used to.
For less money.
For less money. but in you know, in one of the highest areas in Lancashire where poverty is, you know, it's one of the highest. It's like nothing I've ever known. Not only poor in spirit, poor in education, poor financially, you know, poor relationally as well. Whereas it is standard for people to talk to each other like, and that's okay. It's like, because what we're doing as leaders is leading them to a space where we can say that, hang on, that's not acceptable. Have you ever thought that how that might make somebody feel? We're opening up spaces where we can explore entrenched thinking distortions and generational trauma to love them. So
tell me, tell me a couple of stories where it's good and some where it's not so good.
Yeah.
So give us one of each. A story where maybe it's good and one where it's not so good.
Right, okay, so, well, I just had a text off. So this goes to just show you how I just traverse the class system. I can, you know, there's a girl I've worked with, she's very well to do, and got a text from her the other day, and I worked with her just after COVID, remember?
Yeah.
And spent 9 weeks with her. And she's flying, and she sent me a text. I'll read it to you, actually. Let me just read you this text. Bless her. So we still stay in touch. I am 95 weeks and 3 days clean and sober as so I really can't ask for more. I love you so much. I still do my setups and my prayers and my journal every morning. I've even bought volume 1 of Radio 4 prayers for the day book. And most importantly, still do my gratitude list every night. I learnt from the best and can't thank you enough for changing my life.
That's a beautiful story, isn't it? And we know that lady, and we know that the real struggles. So we're going to say straight away that addiction is classless.
Classless.
And it doesn't matter how much money you've got either, does it?
No.
Okay,
No.
So that's a success story.
That's a success
Which is
story.
a lovely one.
She's flying, she's back with the children. There's countless people that we've worked, you know, we've worked through, we've kind of worked through what we've walked through with them, and that successes in their own right. You know, they've come to faith and they're a part of the church. And there's the other ones that keep falling through the gaps, which is where kind of my heart is as well. And no matter how frustrated sometimes that I get with the system, we can't do this alone, you know, we've got to do it together. So having, you know, partners and having other people to help you help these guys navigate a system that is clearly set up for you to fail, it's frustrating, because when you haven't got the right people around the table who are putting in barriers for people, and I'm going to mention a guy that we know really well. He is homeless. I'd say he's knocking about 70 now. Homeless, likes a bit of crack now and again on a script. And
when you say on a script, Evan, what does a script mean?
so
Just
he's on like
know.
OST, which is like opiate substitute. So like methadone.
Okay.
So that he's not rattling from opiates. So he goes to the chemist every day, picks up his prescription, nowhere to stay, nowhere to live. But he's had chances at accommodation in the past. But his family are all in it, and his friends are all drug users. So it's not only for him to break out of them friendship circles and that lifestyle and that culture. We need something to help him, to set up around him when he does that. But it's like he just can't seem to get an opportunity at the minute because he can't get the right kind of support. So they put him in supported housing, where there's loads of supported housing out there. Whether they are quality housing or not leaves a lot to the imagination, because I don't think some of these spaces are set up to receive people like this guy that we're talking about.
So he's
been kicked out again of somewhere. We got him help. We got him housed in one of these supported housings to make do while he gets the support that he needs, which is wraparound support. But what the social services are saying is that he's got capacity. So he has capacity when he's in hospital because he's doing really well. But every time he gets released from hospital, he just goes on a downward slope. And we'll end up, burying him.
Yeah.
Is the truth of the matter, like we do, because that's the end that we see. So it's really frustrating. So when I say this is a real high calling, being a pastor in this kind of ministry, because you identify the gaps not just in the community, in the system that's set up meant to help people, like the people that we work with and serve on a daily basis, but I see them dropping through the cracks weekly. So when we stand in the gaps and catch them coming through, it's like if I had a chance and an opportunity to sit around the table and tell some real life stories of how the system is really failing this set of people, drug users specifically, alcoholics, then I'm sure I could make a difference, but we don't get invited. And I wonder why that is. I wonder why you're not inviting me around the table to speak truth to power. Because something needs to change.
So I was in London and
I know.
And I had a meeting and I asked the question at the highest level.
Yeah.
What drug services had done with the money.
Yeah.
That's a bit more polite than how I said it. Because there's been a heck of a lot of money, but it's not going to the people it's intended for.
Yeah.
And that part of it is heartbreaking because the drug deaths are up.
Yeah.
We see more and more younger people overdosing and dying.
Yeah.
So we're talking about more children thrown into poverty.
Yeah.
And we're not just picking up and working with drug addicts and alcoholics. We're dealing with the families, the children, the aftermath.
I know. And I mean, seriously, if we was to discuss, we need a podcast to talk about how compartmentalising of the charity, how many areas that we work with, how many people, different types of people we work with, different themes that emerge that we're working with them. And a lot of the time, Mick, as well, we're that busy in it that we're not capturing what we're doing and showcasing it to the world to tell people what it actually is that we're doing. Maybe then the people that hold the purse strings might start listening. And also, again, it's pump primed into create a world-class recovery system. Well, that's great for those that are there, but what about all the ones that aren't and that are falling through the gaps? Because there's no roadmap for them.
Oh, they die.
And we bury them. Yeah.
Or we do our part, we do our part with the families and the children.
Yeah.
So maybe I'd say like, so the people that give money to organisations and charities.
But I do want to say
Go on.
that we did have a touch last week.
We did.
So I've been part of my role as well.
Yeah, but we had a touch
from a
Christian organisation.
Yeah. So I'm talking about the world, the world system in terms of, there's kingdom business, isn't there? And then there's a worldly system that we actually live in that I think is separated from God and doesn't invite us around the table. And I think this is why.
Yeah, but there's a proviso there because they come and use all our resources.
Absolutely. And it actually costs us, throughout the winter, £2,000 a month at Church on the Street. So
just to put the heating on and the gas.
Absolutely. And I actually asked, and I put a call into treatment, drug and alcohol treatment, our local provider, and said, okay, there is no money, you've no money for us. Can you help with gas and electric? And nobody's got back to me yet.
No.
Again.
And they probably
all
won't.
Year. And all those service users use our building. The staff use our building. They come and take from us and nobody is giving us anything.
So then, Emma, if you look right down that camera and there was commissioners, so what would you say to them? So just
hand it over.
In real simple terms, that's it.
Hand it over. Hand over the resources for real change, or go with your usual suspects and nothing changes, because nothing's changing, because we're fishing people out on a daily basis.
So they're dying.
Yeah.
They're dying because of lack of resource.
Yeah.
How does that make you feel?
Sick. And it's access to the resource. It's access. Should be open access.
Yeah. So where's the hope? Tell me where there's some hope.
In our place.
Yeah.
In our place, when they come in and they're broken and they're busted and they're kicking off and they're screaming and there's no conditions attached. And I'm just going to walk with you through what you've got to walk through and we'll work it out. There's no... we've got to stop making people jump through hoops for stuff. Do you know what I mean? It's like there's a power imbalance. There's such a power imbalance. And it's wrong.
So when you're sleeping on the street and it's cold and wet,
yeah,
and you need to score and you don't have the money, when you haven't seen your children for sometimes years, but you've still got emotions and feelings,
Yeah.
Them's are the feelings of suicide and loss and isolation and loneliness. And them's the things that we're working with.
Yeah. I was talking to one of the lads the other day. We had the Emmaus over, dropping sleeping bags off, undies, socks, jumpers, trackies. And one of the lads sat there. I was sat next to him. And I said, "You went up to get something?" He went, "Oh, no, I'm not going up there to get anything. I'll go after when nobody's about." Because he was full of shame, he was full of guilt. He didn't feel good enough. So I stayed sat with him and he said, "Why aren't you getting up?" I said, "Because I'm sitting with you." And he went, "Why?" I said, "Are you from Burnley?" He went, "Yeah." I said, "Have you got kids?" And he just broke. He's like, "Why are you bothered about me? Why do you care? Why are you asking me?" And he started to cry, but he didn't know what to do with it. he didn't, because he hadn't cried for that long, you know. And I just gave him a hug, and he's like, why do you want to hug me? I stink. And I love him.
Yeah.
I love that man. And that's humanity. And that is what people have forgotten to do with each other.
Yeah. I think if politicians and sometimes clergymen and, you know...
People have they've forgotten how to be human, forgotten how to cry, and forgotten how to listen and love each other. There's conditions attached to everything, you know. Even if we did get a bit of money, there'd be conditions attached.
Yeah. But we get great outcomes with the very small amount that we get.
Yeah,
and we could do much, much more. You know, we'd bury less people, and we'd have more people clean and living back with their families.
I think it's an absolute. It's an injustice that little pockets of hope and buildings where we're recovery ready. You know, we receive people, the worst of the worst and the best of the best, with open arms, aren't being resourced. It's a crime. That's a crime. That's a crime that we're not even getting a slice of the pie. It's disgusting. And the longer it's going on, the more I do want to speak out about it. The more I do want to stand there and say, there's an injustice. The injustice is to these people because they are here. They're a hidden population. You don't want to know they exist. They exist, all right, because you know what we did? We looked at the crime of shoplifters, professional shoplifters, and also...
they're very proud to tell us they're professional.
Drug-related shoplifters. And the numbers are staggering from 300,000 to £750,000 a year we will be saving their local community based on the grafters that are out there grafting due to drugs.
Well, that's just two.
Yes.
So you're talking nearly £1 million, that just off two. And so that just two people who we've helped and supported is saving the community almost £1 million.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With all the hospital administrations as well.
Yeah,
hospital admissions, the arrests, the police time, the nurses' time, the judges' time.
Yeah.
And you add all that up and it starts stacking up. So I was saying to you, wasn't I, the other week, maybe that's what we need to start standing on, them numbers, because that's evidence that what we do works. We deal hope.
Yeah.
Real hope, where the real solution really is for real breakthrough.
So then we carry on.
We carry on.
And we work with what we've got.
Yeah.
And we trust God. So
Amen.
I know a fella, that fed 5,000 people with just a little bit of fish and a little bit of bread.
Yeah.
And we have to trust in that same fella, you know. So thanks for coming to see me in the motorhome, Emma.
Well, it's exactly how you would imagine it to be. It's perfect for you.
Perfect for me.
Yeah.
Thanks, Emma. God bless you.
God bless you.